Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Key Gripe, the show for short, sweet reviews of new release movies, plus the one thing that annoyed me the most. And today I'm going to be talking about the new film, the Lego Batman movie, and there are some minor spoilers. Gotham City is under siege by a myriad of villains, including the diabolical Joker, but none are a match for the infamous Batman. But Batman is about to learn he can't save the city by himself forever, no matter how much he resists working together. The film stars Will Arnett, Zach Galifianakis, Michael Cera, Rosario Dawson, Ralph Fiennes, Jenny Slate, Hector Elizondo, Channing Tatum, Ellie Kemper, Eddie Izzard, and Siri, and so many more. And the film is directed by Chris McKay. Following 2014's highly successful, both commercially and critically, Lego movie, we finally returned to that universe with a standalone film for Will Arnett's Batman. Whereas the first film was more or less a love letter to Legos along with some ribald comedy, this movie is much more focused, namely taking aim at the character of Batman alone. And boy, does it succeed in lampooning Batman as a whole. They go after every incarnation of Batman, from Adam West to Batman v Superman, and it works. Batman is so beloved now because ever since Batman '89, the character has been so dark and compelling. We can't help but love Batman. But this film reminds us that there is some great humor to be found in it as well. One of my favorite parts was just naming all of the random Batman villains, including ones like Egghead and, yes, even Condiment King. The voice acting is well done, pulling a huge cadre of stars for various roles. You've got Arnett, which he's sort of typecasted as the Job Bluth character, that self-important but clueless person. Galifianakis might not be Mark Hamill, but he does make the evil Joker oddly sympathetic. It was also fun to see Michael Cera team up with Arnett again. He might actually be the highlight of the film, Michael Cera's take on Dick Grayson or Robin. And again, I do have to point out, like I did with Moana, that Jermaine Clement really does stand out. In this case, he played Sauron, the Eye of Sauron atop the tower, but he does a really good job because, I don't know, there's just something about Jermaine Clement that's funny. I also found it entertaining that Ralph Fiennes is in the film and he didn't play Voldemort, but Eddie Izzard does a good job as Voldemort. Overall, the voice acting across the board, from Rosario Dawson to Ellie Kemper, Channing Tatum, all of them do a fantastic job. It's rock solid. But here's the thing. This didn't need to be a Lego movie. The Batman satire was apt regardless of the setting of the film. With the exception of the ending, which, looking back on it and even watching it, was kind of stupid, it doesn't really add to the movie. Stylistically, it's just as impressive as the Lego movie, but that's not my complaint. My complaint is not that it looked weird, it's just they didn't necessarily need to make this kind of comedic lampooning of Batman a Lego movie. It's meant to be a commentary on Batman movies versus being a Lego movie. The lampooning is more important here than the Lego part of it. And where it succeeds most is in that commentary about his loner attitude, about his brooding, his crime fighting. And I do love one of the things that they bring up is the point that Gotham is the most crime-ridden city, and they definitely hit home that Batman almost makes it more a den of crime, even though he's supposed to be this great crime fighter. But the one aspect they really failed to show about Batman's character was showing that he is the world's greatest detective, which is who Batman is at his core. Instead, they really followed Arnett's version of Batman from the Lego movie, which is more just him being this arrogant, cocky character. It didn't really have that detective part of who Batman is. It's more about the fighting and the arrogance than that detective aspect. But that isn't even my key gripe. My key gripe is that I understand the appeal of these movies is the frenetic pace. It's what made the Lego movie so much fun. But it does get a little overwhelming here. I'm not trying to sound like a Gomer when I say this, but they pack a ton into very little. There are times when they throw a dozen references at you in as many seconds. And while comedy today is firmly referential, joking about things you should know from pop culture, it's like, remember this pop culture thing? Ha ha ha. It's good to spread it out. Since this is meant to be more of a satire on Batman, there is just way too much getting thrown at you at this pace. And I appreciate the references and the jokes. Like I said, the scene with the villains is hilarious, but it also forces you to watch it a few times to catch everything because there is a lot that gets thrown at you throughout the entire movie. And it'll be interesting to see if the Lego Ninjago movie is the same way, which I am assuming it probably will be. Overall, if you loved the Lego movie for its insane action, rapid fire humor, and heart, there's no reason why you won't enjoy the Lego Batman movie as well. And while it is more singularly focused, it still manages to encapsulate the greater scope than a Lego movie brings. It's a bit too much at times, like a massive sensory overload, but its strengths ultimately outweigh its weaknesses. And with a superb voice cast and great visuals, I would call this a worthy entry in both the Lego and Batman franchises. I'm giving the Lego Batman movie an 8 out of 10 for being hilarious, a lot of fun, and even though it does have some key problems, overall it's a very fun movie. Let me know your thoughts on the Lego Batman movie, if you enjoyed it or didn't, or if you just don't like this kind of humor. And that does it for this episode of Key Gripe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Nice work. Good job. If you like what you saw, you can just go ahead and click that subscribe button for all videos past and future. You can also head over to my website and see all the other stuff that I do, including the books I've written. So go ahead, click stuff.